Good morning. Welcome to yoga. It's 10 o'clock on Friday morning, and we are going to start, as we usually do, in a seated position. You can either sit here in a chair like this, sitting forward with your feet hip width apart, flat on the floor with your knees lined up over your ankles, or you can sit on the floor on a cushion or a zafu or a rolled up mat or anything that will lift your butt about 3 to 6 inches off the floor. So once you get your lower body organized, we're all going to roll our pelvis forward so that we come up on our sits bones. That means we can then pull our abs in, lift our breastbones, ask our shoulder blades to slide down our backs, and let's close our eyes for a few seconds and ask ourselves how we're doing this morning. How are your sinuses? How's your digestion? How's your skin? How's your mood? Then opening our eyes, we'll extend our arms, palms up, inhale up. And then 2 fountain breaths. So remember, the most important thing to keep in mind while we do this is that you are the ultimate expert on what's good for your body. If I suggest anything that would be inappropriate for your body because of arthritis, injury, surgery, knee replacements, or whatever, just skip it. I encourage you to skip it, take a breather, do something else. Then come back and rejoin us when you're ready. Alrighty. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to push away our infernal wall. Really push right from the middle of your back, activating your arms, widening your hands as broadly as they'll go, and then make a soft little fist and point it at the floor. Good. Back to the wall. Really feel those muscles working. Then index finger to thumb and squeeze, second, third, and fourth. Backwards. Fourth, third, second, and first. Good. Shake that off, let that go. We'll play a few piano scales in honor of Lola and Arthur's 74th wedding anniversary, which is pretty impressive. Then we'll turn our palms up and let our wrists flop gently. Good. We'll let that go. Take a nice breath. Good. Let's do the stir the pot. We're going to take our nice tall spine and pretend that it's a wooden spoon as we stir around in the bowl of our pelvis. And go backwards. Strangely enough, this is a hip opener. Good. All right, come on back to center. Sit up nice and straight and tall. And let's reach up and grab an apple and pull it down. Reach up, grab an apple and pull it down. Each time you do this, stretch up as tall as you could possibly be. Really reach for the sky. Good. All right, so we'll let that go. Let's do our little hook business. So make your hands into these nice little hooks, bring your elbows up, put your shoulders down, and try to pull your hands apart, giving steady, even pressure and breathing. Good. Let that go. Now we're going to put our hands together in prayer position, or if your wrists don't like this posture, just bring them together knuckles against knuckles and push. Again, a nice steady pressure, breathing all the way. Don't let your shoulders sneak up near your ears the way I do. Good. Relax that. Let's go back to the hooks and pull. Good. Let that go. Once more to the pushing position, either wrists or knuckles, whichever works for you. and release it. Give your shoulders a nice wiggle. Take a deep breath. All righty, so let's use our nose as a pointer, and we'll draw a figure 8 on its side using our nose and say good morning to our necks. Go backwards. Good. All righty, so let's say good morning to the rest to our lower spine with the cat and cow stretch. So our heads are coming forward and our belly is going backwards. We're exhaling down. As we inhale, we're lifting our breastbone and looking up and then collapsing as we exhale. Just go back and forth at your own pace, saying good morning to your spine. As we open and close all the discs between vertebrae. Good. All right, so let's come back to center. Now we're going to say good morning to the middle of our neck. We already said good morning to the top and the bottom, now the middle. So sit up straight and tall, lift your breastbone, and allow your chin to approach your breastbone, but don't let your breastbone sink. And then when your chin is as low as you think it's going to go, just pause and wait. Keep breathing. Keep focusing your attention on keeping your breastbone up. But your patience will be rewarded. And your chin, believe it or not, will go another millimeter or 2 lower. And when that happens, you're ready to roll your right ear to the right. So now your right ear is looking at your right shoulder. You're looking at the wall opposite. And you can feel all the little muscles up and down the left side of your neck as they begin to open. And let's nod a little yes. Notice how that changes the way the stretch feels. And when you're ready, you can roll your chin to the middle and over to the left. So now your left ear is looking at your left shoulder, you're looking at the wall opposite, and the right side of your neck is opening. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, nod a slow and gentle yes. When you're ready, you can roll your chin to the middle, over to the right, back to the middle, over to the left. All the while you're doing this, make sure that your breastbone is still lifted. And when you've had enough of this, just come back to center and lift your head. Take a nice deep breath. Give your shoulders a little loosening movement and let that go. All righty. So let's see, let's do our side stretches. Put your left hand on the floor or the chair. Stretch up tall with your right arm. Lean into your left arm and over we go. You're looking at the wall opposite, not the floor. Breathing into the stretch. And come back to center. Right arm down on the floor or the chair. Stretch up as tall as you can be. Lean into your right hand and over you go. Breathing all the way. Looking at the wall opposite. Come on back to center. Good. Okay. Right arm comes up again. Lean into your left hand and breathe. Feel a right side of your body as it begins to open up. And come back to center. Right hand down, left arm stretching up. Leaning into your right arm, as you reach to the right. Come on back to center. Give your shoulders a nice loosening. Take a breath. Okay, good. Let's do our seated spinal twist. If you're in a chair, leave your lower body right where it is because it's perfectly fine. If you're on the floor, it's right leg over left, left arm to right knee. Everybody sit up straight and tall. Use your hands on your floor or the chair to pivot to your right and breathe. Make sure your breastbone is lifted. Engage your abs to pull your tummy in. And feel how wonderful this spinal twist feels. Not only is it good for your spine, but we're also wringing out your viscera. Twist back a little bit deeper and release it. Give your shoulders a nice wiggle. Take a breath. Okay. Once again, if you're in a chair, leave your lower body alone. If you're on the floor, it's left leg over right, right arm to left knee. Everybody sit up straight and tall. Pivot to your left. Use your hands and breathe. Engage your abs. Keep your breastbone lifted. Don't let your right shoulder sneak around to the left. Keep it right where it is. Twist back a little bit farther and release it. Give your shoulders a nice wiggle. Wiggle your toes. Take a breath. Let's do the frog. Alrighty, so you can do the frog standing, sitting in a chair, sitting on the floor, whichever makes you happy. I'm rather fond of doing it this way. So sitting on the forward edge of your chair, spreading your knees nice and wide, with resting your hands on your knees. Now don't go down like a limp noodle. Sit up nice and straight and tall. Keep your breastbone and head up and lean forward. This way, all of the stretch is coming out of our big hip joints. And that big joint needs the stretch. When you get as low as you comfortably can, just pause, breathe into the joints, and help them open up. When you're ready, you can probably go a little bit lower, but there's no rush, and there's no particular place you have to go. You just keep leaning forward until your body says, no, that's enough. And then you listen to your body and stop. Keep breathing into those big joints, encouraging them to be open, be flexible, and be relieved of the tension that they're holding. When you're ready to come out of it, and stay longer, there's no rush. All you have to do is push a little bit on your knees, and there we are. Let's stand up. All righty. So we're going to start in Tadasana, the mountain posture, as we always do. We're going to put our feet on the floor, hip width apart. If you have any doubts about what that means, just put your two fists together, plant them on the floor between the ball mounds of your feet, and that's it. All right, so you want your feet to look like the number 11, nice and parallel. That opens up the lower part of your back. And then feel the floor. Make sure that each quadrant of each foot is doing its fair share of holding you up. And then pull yourself up through your ankles, through your legs, tuck your pelvis a tiny amount, and really pull your abs in and up while you lift your breastbone. Ask your shoulder blades to slide down your back to your neck. And there you are, the mountain posture. We are defying gravity and breathing, feeding and cleansing our body with each breath. This is what good posture feels like. Let's bring our arms out, interlace your fingers, noticing which one's on top. Reverse, stretch, bring your hands behind your back, interlace, Send them as low as they'll go and lift into chest expansion. Breathe into the stretch. Good. Shake that out. Bring your arms out again. This time when you interlace, make sure the other finger is on top. Reverse your palms, stretch. Bring your hands behind your back. Interlace the weird way. Send them as low as they'll go and lift. Breathe into it. Feel the lovely stretch across your pectoral muscles. And release it. Give everything a nice wiggle and shake out your legs. Let them know that's over. Good. Okay. So let's see. I think we should do Warrior 2 for our power position today. So if you need to, you can put your chair right in front of you, but I'm not going to do that because you won't be able to see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we're just going to spread our feet like this. If you want to do Warrior 2, you can spread them as far as you want. Make sure that you're on a sticky mat though, so that your legs won't go whoop. That's bad, and that'll hurt. If you're going to do triangle pose, back off from your pose a little bit. Okay, now take your left leg, rotate your toes to the left 90 degrees. Bend your left knee over your left ankle. And now put your hands on your hips, and you'll see that your hips are facing over there. We want to try and bring our hips back to the starting position without dragging our left knee away from the left ankle. Once you get there, you can shoot your arms straight out from your shoulders, turn your head to the left, looking out over your left arm. If you want to, you can bend your left knee a little bit and slide to your left. And you can stand here and hold the pose. This is Warrior 2. If you would like to do the triangle pose, you rotate your arms so that one is pointing at the floor, the other at the ceiling, and breathe. Keep breathing. This pose requires a lot of balance. If your balance is a little wonky, you might want to stay with Warrior 2. Whenever you're ready to come out of it, simply come back to a vertical posture. Put your arms down, step onto your left leg, shake out your legs, take a deep breath. Give everything else a nice loosening wiggle. Good. So now, of course, we're going to do it on the other side. So once again, decide how far apart is safe to move your feet. Rotate your right toes to the right, 90 degrees. Bend your right knee over your right ankle and put your hands on your hips. And there we are. We're facing that direction. But I want to bring them back to the original direction facing the camera without dragging my right knee away from my right ankle. Once I'm there, I extend my arms left and right and look out over my right hand. I bend my right knee a little bit more, and there I am. Breathing all the way, trying to keep my shoulders down from my ears. Now you can stay here. This is a perfectly fine place to be. This is Warrior 2. Or if you want, you can move into the triangle pose like this. But don't look at the floor, look at the wall opposite. Feel the stretch in your left side. If you want to, you can lean your right arm against your right leg and breathe. Now you can stay longer if you want, but if you're ready to come out of it, all you have to do is come back to vertical. Put your arms down, step onto your right leg, take a deep breath, and loosen up everything. Good. Okay, so I think it's time for a nice inversion. We're going to do our swan dive into an inversion so that we're going to put our head below our hearts. So we're going to put our feet right back into Tadasana. And we're going to go down not like a limp noodle, but with a flat back. When our torso is parallel to the floor, we'll stretch forward out of our pelvis, and then we'll relax our back and go down. So here we're going to inhale up. Stretch forward and relax your back. Check in with your neck. If the top of your head is not pointed at the floor, your neck is still working. Convince it to relax. Breathe comfort into your neck, your back, your legs. Give them the encouragement they need to open. Stretch to your right, grab hold of your ankle or knee or thigh or whatever's over there. Notice how the stretch is different over here. Come back to center. Stretch to the left. Take hold of whatever part of your anatomy is over there. Keep breathing. Your legs are still stretching and still opening, so give them the encouragement they need. And when you're ready to come out of it, you simply come back to center, put your hands on your thighs, come up to a flat back, and stand up. Rolling your shoulders, shaking out your legs, and letting that all go. So let's do a little something more with our shoulders today. So I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to clasp my hands behind my back. I'm going to bring my hands up to my waist. Now I'm going to start moving my hands to my left. When I get my hands as far to my left as I think I can get them, I'm going to use the strength of my left hand to pull a little bit. And then once I get over there, see this left elbow hanging out? I'm going to pull my left elbow back and stand up straight with my breastbone lifted and breathe. I'm stretching the front of my right shoulder primarily. Keep breathing. And when you're ready to come out of it, simply bring your hands back to the middle, let them come down, separate, give everything a nice wiggle and roll, and then reclasp your hands, bring them up to your waist, and then begin to work them around to the right. And as before, once you get there, see if you can get your right hand to work your left hand over a little bit farther. And then take your right elbow and draw it back. Stand up nice and straight, keep your breastbone lifted, and breathing. And release it. Let that go. Shake out your legs. Take a breath. Good. Let's do the eagle. We haven't done the eagle for a little while. Would be good to stretch the back of our shoulders. So we just let our arms swing a bit. And oh, by the way, if your palms don't come together easily, just use your opposite shoulder for a hand rest. Otherwise, it's one elbow over the other. Feel the huge stretch across your shoulders. Breathe comfort into them. And if you're ready, you can raise your elbows a bit. Notice how that changes things. Then you can push your hands away from your face a bit. Keep breathing. When you're ready to come out of it, simply unpretzel and let them swing. And then the other elbow is on top. Breathe into the stretch. If you want, you can raise your elbows. You can push your hands away from your face. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, unpretzel, let them swing. Roll your shoulders a bit. Good, and let that go. All righty, so let's do the up and down motion. You can either do what I'm about to do, or you can do the chair, where you stand in front of the chair and pretend to sit in it. Either one is perfectly fine. The idea for the up and down is that we're going to sit on the leading edge of the chair. We're going to put our feet flat on the floor. Now, if you need to make this a little bit easier, broaden your stance and bring your feet backwards a little bit. That'll make the whole procedure a little easier. Then cross your arms and stand up and sit down and stand up and sit down. And of course, you can do this at your own pace. You do not have to do it at my pace. Everybody's rhythm is a little bit different. Be sure to let your muscles relax for a moment when you get to the bottom of this motion. They should work. They should take a breather. And there we have it. That's enough of that. Good. Okay. So once again, shake out your legs. Take a nice breath. Good. Now, what was I about to say? I was about to say something. What was it? Oh, well, we're going to walk around our little circle. So identify a little 3 or 4 foot diameter circle. Turn to your right and walk around your little circle, taking the largest steps you comfortably can in a nice upright position. Come back to starting position and then do the same little circle backwards. Again, taking the largest steps you comfortably can. Do not jeopardize your safety by falling down. When you get back to your starting position, turn around 180, walk your little circle forward. When you get back to your starting position, do it backwards. Good, all righty. So let's do the grand central wave. So standing on your mat, be prepared to bend your knees because you don't need to have them locked for this. And we're just going to cock one knee and then cock the other knee. So we get a hip switch going by bending each knee alternately. We bring one arm up and do the grand central wave. Nowadays, it would be a lot easier for people to see you across grand central. Let the other arm come up and take over the job. I saw a picture of Grand Central in the time of COVID, and it's astonishing how empty it looks. And now we'll have both arms doing it together. Good. Let your arms come down, shake out your legs. Good. Let's just bring your arms together, reverse your palms, stretch up really tall, bring your arms down, roll your shoulders. Good. Take a breath. Okay, let's give ourselves a foot massage. So sit down on your chair, bring one foot up, and take your thumbs and just massage the bottom of your foot. You can use your fingers, you can use your knuckles, just get in there like you're kneading bread and just squeeze the flesh and let go, squeeze and let go, squeeze and let go. We're squeezing out the old fluid so that the new fluid will come rushing in, feeding and cleansing these tissues. And poor feet, they do not get much respect from us. Good. So take that one, put it down. Let's do the same thing for our other foot. Again, you can use whatever parts of your hand is best for this. It might be your thumbs, it might be your fingertips, it might be your knuckles. Use whatever works for you. And just go over the entire bottom of your foot, including your toes, squeezing and releasing, giving them a nice flush. And when you're ready, feel the bottom of your feet. Mine feel really energized and fresh. There you go. Alrighty, so that's it for the first half hour. We're about to get down on the floor, and I know there are a large number of you don't do that. So I wish you a delightful weekend. It's going to be sunny and wonderful. So I hope you can get outside and enjoy it. I hope you can have a visit from your friends or loved ones. I will be back here same time, same station, Monday and Friday of next week, 10 a.m. Namaste. All right, floor yogis. Let's see. I think we should start in tabletop. We're going to do the lunge today. So starting in tabletop is a fine thing to do. And we'll start with a little bit of cat and cow stretching. So head down, belly up. Belly down, head up. Coordinating it with your breathing is excellent. Good. Let's come back to a neutral position and get ready for the lunge. So I like bricks, so I've got my bricks. So at this point, bring your left foot forward between your hands, and you can either scoot your right knee back or your left foot forward until you're comfortable in a nice groin stretch. Your shin is perpendicular to your ankle, and there you are. Find your balance and bring your left elbow up to your left knee. Begin to straighten up. Bring your right arm up, and we'll straighten up. This is a balanced posture. Do it all slowly. If you wish, you may raise your arms, but you do not have to. Breathing all the way. When you're ready, bring your hands to your knee, down to the blocks, and begin to slowly move your pelvis backwards, straightening your left knee. Your left toes are lifting, and now you're bowing over your left knee. You can feel the hamstring stretch developing in the back of your leg, and breathe into it. If you want more stretch, lower your head and chest. If this is too much, just back off a little bit by raising your head and chest, and breathe. When you're ready to come out of it, simply begin to move your pelvis forward. Your left knee bends, your left toes come to the floor. You return to the starting position. You bring your left hand to the right side of your left foot and bring your foot behind you. Now you can bring your right foot forward, and away we go. So the right shin is perpendicular to the floor, and we can scoot our left knee back or our right foot forward until we have a nice little groin stretch going. Then we can bring our right elbow up to the right knee And get your balance. Proceed slowly to a nice vertical posture. And you can feel free to stay here, unless you want to do this. Keep breathing. This does demand balance. So a drishti is a fine thing to have. When you're ready to come out of it, slowly bring your hands down to your knee, down to the floor or your blocks. Slowly begin to move your pelvis backwards. Your right knee straightens, your right toes lift, and you're bowing over your your right knee. And breathing. When you're ready to come out of it, begin to bend your right knee. Your right toes are coming down to the floor. Bring your right hand to the left side of your right foot and bring your foot behind you. And there we are. All righty. So I think it's time for a good stretch. So, actually, no, probably it's a good time for a downward facing dog. Let's do that. We're in the right place. All we have to do is curl our toes under, push our hips up, and then push our chest back towards our knees. And breathe. If you wish, you can bend one knee, the other knee, and go back and forth. If you're feeling strong and frisky, you can lift one straight leg to the ceiling. But it's actually more important to keep your chest as close to your knees as possible rather than doing the leg lift. Now you can stay and do that for as long as you like. I'm coming out of it because I'm tired, but you go right ahead and do more if you'd like to do more. I'm going to go into child pose. Big toes together, knees apart, head on floor. And don't forget, if your butt gets nowhere near your heels, feel free to stack your two fists, one on top of the other, and rest your head on your fists. And that will loosen up your pose a little bit and make you a wee bit more comfortable. And in my case, it gives me less microphone feedback. Take some nice deep breaths. Let the work and effort that your shoulders were primarily engaged in go. Okay, so we're going to sit up and stretch our legs straight out in front of us so that we can do a forward bend. And once again, as usual, we want to keep our back as upright as possible for as long as possible so that we can get more stretch out of our hip joints rather than our back, because we have plenty of things we can do with our back. So head and chest up and begin to lean forward. If you like a little rocking motion, feel free to use it. If rocking motion does nothing for you, don't rock. The important thing is to breathe comfort and encouragement into your hip joints. Give them lots of patience. Opening up a big joint like this is not something that you do. When you think you're about ready, you can bring your head and chest down. If you'd like, you can reach forward to pull on your feet or your ankles a little bit. Breathe into the big stretch. And of course, there's the option of interlacing your hands behind your head and dropping your elbows. Now I'm feeling the big stretch in my upper back. When you think you've been here long enough, just put your hands down and sit up. Give everything a nice wiggle, loosen it up, take a breath. Okay. So now we're going to do a stretch with our feet apart. And let's do the one where we're going to try and turn our pelvis towards our right foot. And you just sort of use your hands on the floor and see what you can do to try to turn your pelvis a little bit towards your right foot. Because now, as we head for our right foot, we want to keep our left shoulder in the race to get to our right foot. Obviously, our right hand is going to win the race, but we don't want our left hand to slack off. We want them both heading for the foot. And once again, you come down very slowly, giving all of your tendons and ligaments and muscles plenty of time to adjust and open, breathing encouragement into them. If we're doing this right, we're not only stretching our hamstrings and our groin muscles, but also our back muscles. And when we're ready, you just walk your hands back towards you, and there you are. So I'm going to turn around, because we're going to do the same thing, heading for the left foot. Ooh. So once again, we're going to try and turn our pelvis to face left as much as we can do. Okay. So when we think we've achieved what we can achieve, remember we want to keep our right hand and shoulder into the race to our left foot. And begin to lean towards your left foot. There's no rush. We take as much time as we need. Breathing encouragement into those ligaments, those tendons, those muscles that we're asking to stretch. You can have your hands on your leg, you can have your hands on the floor, whatever makes you happy. And you just keep slowly going lower and lower, breathing into everything that's stretching. We are giving up tension and stress every time we stretch. I don't mind giving that up. When you've been here as long as you want to be here, walk your hands back towards you and sit up. Lean back on your hands, cock your knees, take a nice breath. Good, and we'll let that go. Alrighty, so we're going to do the vinyasa thing. So come up so that you're sitting on your left cheek and your legs are both bent, and you're going to take your right arm, left hand is on the floor. Your right arm sticks out to the right, comes across your body to the left. And it's a nice, easy swinging motion. As you come around, you're sitting more and more on your left thigh. And your right butt is coming up off the floor. Good. So now we're going to begin to turn to our left, walking our hands around until you can finally come around and get your left elbow down. You're more and more on your left thigh. You can bring your right elbow down now. And if you want, you can rock back and forth a little bit. And begin to move your elbows farther away from each other until you get your chin down on your hands. And then your goal is to relax and get closer and closer to the floor. You're still resting on your left cheek and left thigh. Looking for muscles to tell them to relax. Ready to come out of it, you begin to come up onto your elbows again and work your way back toward the starting position. Good. So I'm going to turn around. All right. So obviously we're going to do it on the other side. So this time I'm sitting on my right cheek and my right thigh, and both legs are bent so that they're pretty much in contact with the floor. I'm leaning on my right arm. My left arm comes across my body and back in an easy swinging motion. This is the warm-up for what we're about to do. Okay, that's enough of that. So bring your other hand down and begin to walk yourself back so that you're facing the opposite wall that you started facing. You're more and more on your right thigh as you come down to both elbows. And then you begin to work your elbows apart, which brings your head and chest closer to the floor. And then your goal is to see how close to the floor you can get. And again, this really takes a lot of effort to find all those muscles that it's determined to keep you off the floor. And convince them that you really do want to get down here, and that they should lighten up. When you're ready to come out of it, begin to come up on your elbows so you can walk yourself back to your original position. And there we are. All righty. So let's do some ab work. So I've got my feet flat on the floor and I've got my knees together. If I can keep my knees together, that's better, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to pull myself up, pull my abs in, extend my arms left and right, look at one upward facing palm, and then the other one. And I just keep going back and forth, pulling my abs in and making sure that they're doing the work. Had enough of that, bring your hands back to your knees, pull yourself up, take a breath. Let your tummy rest for a few seconds. And then down we go. Keep your feet on the floor and just extend your arms straight. Look down at your abs. Make sure they're pulling your tummy in. Breathe. Come back up. Let your tummy go slack. Good. So of course, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our feet off the floor. So here we go. Pull your abs in. Find your balance point. Make sure your abs are on the job. And come back to the rest position. Let your tummy rest. Take a breath. So I'm going to do the crunches. You don't have to do the crunches. You can do something else. One of the things that you might enjoy doing is this. Wait a minute, I've got it wrong. This way. There we go. The other thing you can do is this. So you have options. All righty, for those of you who like the crunches with me, here we go. Keep going as long as you want to. When you're done, lean forward, take a breath. Then we're going to stretch out and stretch. Feels so nice. So stretch, release it, just the right side. Ooh, I love it. Let go, just the left. Let go, back to the right. Let go, back to the left. Oh, that's so nice. What time is it? Okay, so bring your right leg up, put your right leg hand in your right instep, left leg, left instep. Put both feet on the ceiling, pulling your knees into your armpits. And this is happy baby. Now, you're here. See if you can convince your muscles to do 10% less. This is an outstanding hip opener. See if you can spread your feet a little bit wider. Then bring your feet a little closer. Compare how those two positions feel. You don't have to do anything about it, just notice. And when you're done, you release your feet, let them come to the floor, and it's time for deep relaxation. So it's time to put on socks, sweaters, blankets, cushions, whatever will make you feel good while we stretch out to stay warm and comfy I'm going to use the side posture for a change. So my lower leg is straight out below me. My top leg, my knee and my shin and my foot are resting on the floor. Surprisingly enough, this is very comfortable for your lower back. It gives your lower back a very slight twist, but it's very soothing. And the floor is completely supporting my knee and lower leg, which helps let my lower back relax, because the lower back is feeling completely supported the same way it feels completely supported when you're laying on your back. So let's close our eyes. We'll take a couple of deep breaths so that we can melt into the floor. So now it's time to wiggle your fingers and toes, make any loosening motions that'll feel good, maybe stretching, maybe pulling your knees up onto your chest, whatever. And then roll to one side and come up to a seated position. We'll put our hands together We'll sit up nice and straight, close our eyes, lower our chins, and give thanks for this day. Then lifting our head and opening our eyes, we can say to each other, Namaste. Back here at 10 a.m. Monday morning. I hope you have a terrific weekend.